At the Ravens' latest practice, something happened that nobody wanted to see. Lamar Jackson left the field early. For a few minutes, there was that sinking feeling in your stomach, and one big question hanging in the air: was it serious? What made the whole thing even stranger was the way it happened. He looked uncomfortable, spoke with the trainers, and suddenly the speculation started flying. But the truth behind that moment turned out to be very different from what people first thought. And it might even change the way the team runs practices going forward. On Wednesday, practice went from calm to tense in a matter of seconds. Lamar Jackson, the face of the franchise and the guy who carries the Ravens' offense on his shoulders, walked off the field early. And it didn't take long for the worry to set in. Let's be honest. When your franchise quarterback leaves with trainers, it's never just another scene. The play itself looked routine. It was just a drill, pressure in the pocket, a normal rep. But suddenly Lamar went down and something fell off. It wasn't one of those brutal hits that make everyone gasp, but the moment he walked away, that heavy silence hit the field. It was a kind of silence where everyone held their breath, waiting for answers. And you can't blame them. Lamar isn't just another player. He's the heartbeat of the team. Every throw, every run, every decision changes the entire direction of a game. Losing him, even for a short time, could shape the entire season plan. That's why the concern spread so quickly, not just among teammates, but to everyone watching. To make things worse, as he walked off, Lamar was talking to trainers and seemed to be feeling something. He wasn't screaming in pain, nothing dramatic, but the doubt was massive. What exactly happened to number 8? Was this serious, or just a precaution? And that uncertainty was all it took to spark the first wave of speculation that quickly pointed to something even scarier. The first detail people noticed as Lamar left the field was his hand. Reporters swore they saw him flexing his right wrist or shaking his throwing hand like something wasn't right. And you don't need to be a doctor to know how big of a deal that could be. That's his throwing hand, the most valuable part of his body when it comes to leading this offense. That image spread quickly, and the concern only got worse. Because when it comes to hand or wrist injuries, there's no room to mess around. A sprain, a fracture, anything in that area could completely derail the Ravens season. It was the kind of detail that makes your mind run wild, jumping straight to worst-case scenarios. The uncertainty became fuel for speculation. Some reporters hinted it could be something serious. Others urged caution, saying it was too soon to tell. But one thing was clear. If this was really about his hand, it could escalate fast. And just as the nerves were starting to boil over, the Ravens decided to step in and clear the air. The organization wasted no time addressing the situation before it got out of hand. Shortly after practice, the Ravens released an update, and according to the team, Lamar had no injury to his hand, wrist, or arm. The truth was far more simple. Somebody had stepped on his foot during the play, and he left the field as a precaution. That single statement completely changed the mood. What looked like the beginning of a nightmare for the team turned out to be nothing more than a minor scare. The stumble, the hand movement, all the speculation. It was just a coincidence that made the moment seem far more dramatic than it actually was. For those watching, the update was like pouring cold water on the rumor mill. Within minutes, the story shifted from panic about losing their quarterback to relief knowing everything was under control. But the episode was still a reminder of how quickly anything involving Lamar Jackson can blow up. And that's where the way the Ravens handled the situation becomes so important. If the Ravens proved anything here, it's that speed matters. In today's world of social media and instant news, a single unclear moment can turn into a headline worldwide within minutes. And when it involves Lamar Jackson, the stakes are even higher. That's why the team's decision to speak up quickly and clearly was crucial to stop the panic before it spread. Think about it. If they had waited even an hour, the internet would have already been filled with theories, hot takes, and even national stories suggesting a major injury. Instead, the Ravens shut it down at the source, showing they were in control of the situation. That kind of information management builds trust, not just with the locker room, but with the entire fan base. It also protected Lamar himself. Without the statement, those images of him leaving practice would have been looped endlessly, fueling wild interpretations. By jumping in fast, the team shielded him from unnecessary drama and kept the focus on what really matters, preparing for the season. And with that came the feeling everyone had been waiting for, the sheer relief of knowing nothing serious had happened.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Hearing that Lamar was fine felt like a weight being lifted off the entire franchise. Let's be real, this team runs through him. When he's healthy, the Ravens are contenders. When he's not, the whole identity of the team changes. That's why every single detail about his health carries so much weight. So learning it was nothing more than someone stepping on his foot completely shifted the atmosphere. The worry faded, and the energy turned back to optimism. Now the attention can stay where it belongs, developing the offense, fine-tuning the playbook, and building chemistry between Lamar and his receivers. This scare also underscored just how irreplaceable he is. There is another player on the roster who can bring the same mix of talent, leadership, and instant impact that number 8 delivers. Knowing he's fine doesn't just calm nerves. It reignites the excitement for what's ahead this season. And that's exactly why this moment delivered such a clear message about how practices need to be handled going forward. If it wasn't obvious before, it is now. Lamar needs maximum protection, even in practice. Training camp is where you refine plays, test schemes, and build chemistry, not where you put your franchise quarterback at risk. A simple footstep was enough to spark panic. Imagine if it had been something worse. That means the Ravens have to be even more intentional about how they structure these drills. Giving Lamar more space, limiting close contact, even adjusting certain reps. It all matters. He's too valuable to be exposed to unnecessary risks before the season even begins. And it's not just about the physical side. It's mental, too. When the leader of your team limps off the field, the whole locker room feels it. When he walks off smiling and healthy, the energy lifts. Wednesday's practice proved just how much the little things with Lamar affect the entire group. But if there's one silver lining in this whole thing, it's that it reminded everyone once again just how much Lamar is an emotional anchor of this team. At the end of the day, this episode turned out to be more of a reminder than a real reason to panic. The scare was real, but the confirmation that Lamar is perfectly fine brought a wave of relief through the building. Moments like this, as tense as they may feel, sometimes help underline just how central your quarterback is to the entire plan. The quick update from the team kept the group focused and prevented uncertainty from creeping into the locker room. Instead of carrying extra worry, players can move forward confident that number 8 will be there to lead when the season kicks off. It also heightened awareness across the board. Every single step Lamar takes, on or off the field, needs to be treated like a priority. He is the difference between chasing a Super Bowl and falling short. And this little scare, as harmless as it was, showed how even a footstep at practice can dominate the conversation for hours. If the Ravens want to keep their energy high and their season on track, they'll have to protect Lamar like the engine that he is, the driving force behind all of their ambitions. In the end, Lamar Jackson's brief scare practice was a powerful reminder just how crucial he is to everything the Ravens hope to accomplish this year. Even though it was only a footstep, just the sight of him leaving practice showed how much the entire team depends on him in every single detail. What started with panic and ended in relief highlighted one truth. This quarterback needs maximum protection, not just on Sundays, but every day. So here's the question. Do you think the Ravens need to change the way they run practices to keep Lamar completely safe? Because one thing for sure, every step, every throw, every move he makes will shape the fate of the Baltimore Ravens this season.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.